Alarming incidents of youth crime.
Being in the Windsor area, the biggest pipeline of illegal guns in the whole world lies right there with the United States.
2 separate police investigations ending in teens facing weapon-related charges. Inside Canada's newest high-tech border crossing.
This fixed LSI building allows us to run 24/7 and take a non-intrusive look at any vehicles, identify any anomalies such as suspect narcotics or other things that we might want to interdict, and we can keep truck traffic moving faster by doing that.
A look at advanced X-ray imaging and smart security systems at the Gordie Howe Bridge. And end of an era.
Not be standing for re-election. Hello, finally after 23 years.
The sole female voice in veteran councillor Joanne Gignac to retire as a Windsor City Councillor.
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on CTV Windsor and AM 800. Real guns are showing up more often in cases involving Windsor youth, and police are recording twice as many so far this year as the same point in 2025. So what is pulling some teens into more dangerous situations, and can early support change the outcome? That's a story CTV's Travis Fortnum looks into tonight. He is joining us now. Good evening, Travis.
Yeah, that's right. It is only Tuesday, and already this week, Windsor police have announced charges against 2 teenagers in separate gun-related incidents, one involving a 13-year-old. And now tonight, many are asking what is behind the recent violence involving Windsor kids. A string of serious cases involving teenagers is creating the impression youth crime is spiking. But frontline workers say the picture is more complicated.
What we're seeing is that many young people are experiencing, I would say, like really increasingly complex needs.
New Beginnings Executive Director Stacey Yannikopoulos points to mental health concerns, trauma, family conflict, housing instability, and substance use, often building over time. Then there's social media.
Social media is a huge one that's always a conversation at every table we sit at. And a lot of times, like what we see is like these social media conflicts can really quickly spill out into real life.
This week alone, police announced a 16-year-old was charged after shots were fired into a home with children inside. In a separate case, a 15-year-old is accused of pointing a gun at a 13-year-old over money owed. In the first 3 months of this year, Windsor police recorded 46 youth charged criminally. The same report lists 29 police warnings and 8 referrals to diversion programs. That's down from 77 youth charged in the first quarter of 2025, but police data points to a concerning shift. So far this year, police have recorded 6 incidents involving a youth accused and a real firearm, double the 3 recorded by this time last year. CTV public safety analyst Chris Lewis says Windsor's border location may be a part of that equation.
Of course, being in the Windsor area, the biggest pipeline of illegal guns in the whole world lies right there with the United States. So some kids are lured to that because they don't necessarily see hope in other aspects of their life.
Lewis says police can't arrest their way out of this problem, and that parents, schools, community agencies, and police all have a role.
There's a reduction in protective factors for a lot of youth. That consistent kind of support system that we can be a part of or help build can really make a world of difference.
And parents concerned about any young person don't need to wait for police to get involved. Many local diversion programs, including the ones offered by New Beginnings, accept self-referrals. To get in touch with New Beginnings, you just have to call 519-971-0973, and staff there can help you find the best fit. Stefanie.
Okay, Travis Fortnum with our top story tonight. Thank you, Travis. Also tonight, an arson investigation is currently underway in LaSalle following a house fire on Todd Lane. Police and firefighters were called to the house just before 10:30 on Thursday night, where crews quickly knocked down the flames. Officials say several rooms on the main floor suffered significant damage. After a joint investigation, officials determined the fire was indeed intentionally set. Police are now now asking for the public's help identifying someone seen on a Vespa-style scooter in the area around the time of the fire. Investigators believe the scooter may have had clear or opaque jugs attached to the back. Anyone with information is asked to contact LaSalle Police or Crime Stoppers. CTV meteorologist Julie Atchison joins us now for a first look at the weather tonight. And Julie, we do have a beautiful forecast ahead of us.
Yeah, we sure do. We have some gorgeous conditions on the way, but a cloud cover moved in this afternoon, so that put the brakes on the temperature. 25 degrees, and that was also our high for the day. But if humidity, so a feeling like the low 30s, but it's nice and comfortable this evening. That cloud cover starting to break up, but the wind's quite gusty out of the north. That's a nice breeze that's coming in. The breeze will continue through the late evening before temporarily easing off overnight. So conditions, high pressure, that means clear skies and some nice weather on the way right across Essex County. So as we head through the next few hours, the temperature will start to come down just a bit, but some sunshine for sunset this evening, and we're at 19 degrees with just a few clouds towards midnight. I'll have that gorgeous forecast, Stephanie, for you coming up in just a few minutes.
Around 7,500 vehicles crossed the Gordie Howe International Bridge during the first 12 hours after its opening, and officials are calling it a strong first day. The Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority says they expected plenty of curiosity from drivers, but couldn't predict the actual turnout on day one. Traffic started flowing earlier than expected. Vehicles crossing around 10:30 in the morning after crews finished final traffic management work ahead of schedule. Officials say drivers should continue to plan ahead as everyone gets used to the new routes and signage. After 8 years of construction, the $6.4 billion bridge now links Highway 401 directly with Interstate 75 in Michigan. Now, in all the excitement of the ribbon cutting and opening day, we're only now able to dig into the new CBSA operations on the Gordie Howe Bridge. Officials say it is the largest and most tech-savvy of all of the border crossings in Canada. Joining me with more on this story tonight, CTV's Michelle Muskie. Michelle.
Well, Stephanie, the CBSA offered the media a rare behind-the-scenes look at their new operations. It's fair to say secondary inspection is bigger and much more high-tech than the operation at both the Ambassador Bridge and the Detroit-Windsor Tunnel. This is Detector Dog Unique. One of the many new hires for the Canada Border Services Agency, now manning the Gordie Howe International Bridge.
Trained in the detection of narcotics and firearms. And CBSA uses what we call a passive indication system. So these dogs are trained to sit when they see something or smell something.
Here at secondary inspection, staff are now equipped with plenty of space for all travelers.
We have a very nice waiting area for asylum claimants that might arrive. And then a little bit further down, we have a dedicated bus processing area, which allows us to be extremely efficient and make sure that we can process high volume buses in a dedicated way.
There are also 4 specialized bays in the CBSA garage.
So you can use the different filters. There's a jar with an anomaly inside, so we would want to take a closer look at that.
Here they can search baggage just like at the airport.
Simulated narcotics, kilograms of cocaine, simulated cocaine.
And their scanners can detect contraband or illegal firearms without opening a single door.
So you can see the outline of the gun.
On the commercial side, the Gordie boasts the most examination bays with 14 in total. And they're doing away with the mobile X-ray technology.
This fixed LSI building allows us to run 24/7 and take a non-intrusive look at any vehicles, identify any anomalies such as suspect narcotics or other things that we might want to interdict, and we can keep truck traffic moving faster by doing that.
Traffic patterns are monitored by operator Bridging North America, which will coordinate with CBSA should any of the lanes need to shift from traveler to trucker or vice versa.
We do have flexibility in the lanes, so we can do up to 19 passenger traffic vehicles or 16 commercial truck traffic vehicles.
250 Border Services officers were hired to staff up the Gordie Howe International Bridge. They've been working here, training for this moment in time since last September. Stefanie.
I'm sure they are very excited. This is now all open.
Yeah.
Regarding the commercial trucks, so this is something we haven't seen before, particularly, right?
No, this is new to Windsor. It is unique to the Gordie Howe Bridge. Before, it used to be the truck would stop and then a specialized vehicle with like a sort of the top end of a box, the bottom end of a box, would drive alongside the transport and detect what was in it. This now is, as she said, a fixed building, and the transport drives through the building, and it frees the officers up, kind of like that baggage scanner. They don't have to go in there rooting through the cargo. They call it a non-invasive way to see if there's anything in the truck that they need to take a closer look at. If they don't, the transport can continue on its route.
Saving a lot of time.
Definitely.
Okay, Michelle Molesky, thank you for this.
You're welcome.
And of course, we have so much more on this story and all of our Gordie Howe online coverage. You can find it in a special segment on our website, ctvnewswindsor.ca. And sticking with the new bridge for another moment, the first aesthetic light show went off last night called Shimmer. This is the first of many aesthetic lighting patterns on the Gordie Howe Bridge. It started at 10 o'clock last night. The lighting displays were conceived by Canadian artist Douglas Coupland based on public feedback. Now, here's a fun fact. There are 6,000 light fixtures on the new bridge. And the opening of the second bridge has us thinking about the old one. Specifically, we're curious on how quickly Huron Church traffic will change. Now take a look at this. This is what Huron Church Road looked like on July 13th, 2 weeks before the Gordie Howe Bridge opened. We went midday, and as you can see, it is quite busy with trucks heading to the U.S., while plenty more entered Canada, likely destined for the 401. Compare that to today, around the same time, one full day afterwards, after the Gordie Howe Bridge opened. And as you can see, there are still plenty of trucks using the Ambassador Bridge, and there was a delay in commercial traffic entering Canada on the Ambassador Bridge. Also, the city is taking another look at future upgrades for the section of Cabana Road East by the airport and the future Fancy Family Hospital. A new environmental assessment will revisit plans from the year 2014 that called for widening the road to 4 lanes from Walker Road to the city's eastern limits. Since then, the city says the area has seen major residential, commercial, and industrial growth and more transportation demands. The study will look at possibly expanding the corridor to 6 lanes, improving intersections, and enhancing cycling and pedestrian routes on the road. The city will be seeking input from Indigenous communities, government review agencies, and property owners. A public information session is being planned for later this year to give residents more information and, of course, an opportunity to give feedback. So here is our question of the day. Do you think Cabana Road East should be widened to 6 lanes? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday, we asked if rising costs have caused you to cut back on groceries in the past year. 900 people voted. 93% say yes. The longest-serving member of Windsor City Council and the only woman around the table has announced she will not be seeking re-election.
That I will not be standing for re-election. Hello, finally, after 23 years.
Ward 6 Councillor Joanne Gignac made the announcement at the end of Monday's City Council meeting. The councillor gave Gignac a standing ovation for her many years of service. Gignac was first elected to council back in 2003. Since then, she has sat on numerous city committees and has been a long-standing member of the Windsor Police Services Board. Gignac said she wanted to make her intentions known now, hoping it will lure new politicians to enter the race.
I am hoping by doing so that encourages a broad number of people out in Ward 6, which is an incredible ward, to step forward and consider sitting in one of these chairs.
When the premiers met in PEI last week, the topic of tariffs held the spotlight, but they also signed off on something else, aligning on how to make new builds in their provinces accessible. CTV's Maria Saru reports.
12 premiers committing to one goal, to bring Canada's patchwork of accessibility rules closer together. Rick Hansen, a former Paralympian and longtime accessibility advocate, said in social media videos the new Memorandum of Understanding could mark a turning point.
There will never be a new build ever again that isn't built meaningfully accessible so they work for people.
4 decades after wheeling around the world on his Man in Motion tour, the deal was signed in the spirit of his push for a barrier-free country. All of Canada's provinces and territories except Quebec say they will work toward common accessibility rules for new construction, but no implementation timeline has been announced.
People will look back in this moment and say, what was the big deal? This is just normal.
David Lepofsky, a blind lawyer and longtime disability rights advocate, says consistency only helps if the standard is strong.
There's a serious risk they're just going to dilute them to the lowest common denominator.
The latest National Building Code already includes features designed to make homes easier to adapt. That includes a wider entrance, reachable switches and outlets, and reinforced bathroom walls for future grab bars. The code was developed with input from people with lived experience. The agreement also asks Ottawa to create a national fund to help retrofit older buildings. The federal government hasn't announced a commitment to that, and each province will still have to adopt and enforce common rules. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
More than 150 wildfires are burning across Ontario, including the largest fire in the province's history. This massive fire has been dubbed Thunder Bay 36. It covers an area of more than 3,000 square kilometers. Recent rainfall has helped slow the fire, but officials say it remains out of control. At least 22 other fires are also considered out of control. Additional crews from Alberta have arrived to help with this firefighting effort. Now, we do want to hear from you. Do you have a comment or question? Please text us at 10400. Still ahead on Windsor's news leader, Trump takes aim at Canada and Mexico's trade deal, saying he'd rather go at it alone. A Canadian intern, a suspected spy at NATO headquarters, accused of spying for a third country. Coming up, the questions now facing Canada's security system. And tomorrow, farmers fighting weeds with electricity. A new high-voltage solution is being tested in PEI, but it comes with risks. That's tomorrow at 6 on CTV News. Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. Extortion, organized crime, and the international drug trade are flourishing around Toronto, along with gun violence, which has nearly doubled in a year. CTV's Adrian Gobriel on how police are dealing with it.
As screams of terror and the echo of gunshots reverberate through communities across the country, public alarm and concern is rising. While a Statistics Canada report released this month shows that both non-violent and violent crime is down across the country on a per capita basis, there are still pockets of violence plaguing Canadian communities. In Peel Region west of Toronto, the number of shootings has nearly doubled in the first 6 months of this year when compared to the same period in 2025. The number of home invasions that peaked during the first 6 months of 2024 dropped last year, but have remained persistent so far in 2026.
5:30 in the morning, I hear this big smash. I'm like, okay, I'm getting broken into.
Sam McDaddy calls Peel Region home. His company is the official real estate brokerage of the Toronto Raptors. He's using his voice as a community leader to share his story.
And there's 7 people with guns, so I was like, yeah, this is pretty serious.
In July of 2023, McDaddy was asleep in his home in Mississauga, Ontario, when in the blink of an eye, he became a home invasion victim.
Very frightening.
The criminals grabbed his car keys and smashed through his gate as they fled. A year and a half later, McDaddy found himself the victim of another violent crime.
I get in the car, all of a sudden the door opens, 2 young guys, get out, give us the keys. So carjacking.
CTV News sat down one-on-one with Peel Region's Deputy Chief of Police.
Our shooting numbers are up this year. The reason for that increase is absolutely connected to extortions and also organized crime and the international drug trade.
While admitting the challenges with guns and gangs, the deputy chief also believes that social media is exacerbating the public's fear.
The way that we consume information about our community has changed. So very quickly, one incident becomes everybody's reality.
Though the lived experience of McDaddy that resulted in him purchasing 2 police-trained guard dogs has left him feeling unsafe.
And now this is twice now in 2 years. I mean, what's this country become? Like, this isn't the Canada we signed up for.
How our people feel in our community and the fact that they need to feel safe is as important as them statistically being safe. We are absolutely in this fight with our community together.
Police here reiterate their belief that the new abilities that will be at their disposal to track digital evidence through Bill C-22 and their ability to keep people behind bars for longer through Bill C-14 will keep communities here in Peel Region and across the country safer. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Mississauga, Ontario.
As Canada's Dominic LeBlanc heads to Washington this week for more trade talks, the U.S. president says he doesn't care about updating the trade pact with Canada and Mexico. He'd rather be independent. CTV's Rachel Aiello on the response from Ottawa to what some call typical Trump bluster.
So the USMCA, are you looking to update that?
I don't care. I mean, I don't really want to.
U.S. President Donald Trump made it clear today he doesn't really want to renegotiate the trilateral trade pact known on this side of the border as CUSMA.
I'd rather be independent. Here's the thing. Mexico and Canada need us. We don't need them. The deal is important for them. It's not important for us.
This declaration prompting new questions about Canada's ability to get a good deal.
We haven't seen the intensity that a government that is focused on its interests should be bringing to our own North American contact.
Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc and this country's chief trade negotiator are heading back down to D.C. this week for meetings. And this longtime Canada-U.S. relations expert says Trump's latest comments show that this country should be treating this trade war like a war.
It's not because you wish to exacerbate the trade war with tit-for-tat retaliation. That's not working. And it's not that you want to, do something dramatic that'll hurt your own economy. But the U.S. has to be convinced that you're willing to. That's, I think, where we are.
With just 3 weeks left before Trump's 50% tariffs on a range of Canadian exports come into effect, there's little clarity on the minister's game plan.
I think he owes our country some transparency.
And new data indicates the renewed tariff threats are casting a fresh chill on already frozen business investment.
Holding back on business investments today, whether it's investing in machinery and equipment, R&D, or people, means delayed in future growth in wages and productivity later on. And so with all this uncertainty, it's really starting to affect our long-term competitiveness.
LeBlanc's office confirmed to us this afternoon that the minister is now in D.C., but still won't say how long he plans to be there. Asked to respond to Trump's latest salvo and if it hurts their chances of getting a deal, the minister's spokesperson said, quote, "We will not comment on that." Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
A Canadian intern accused of spying for a third country while at NATO military headquarters has been denied bail. Officials say the suspect is a Canadian national of Chinese origin and allegedly a member of a criminal organization. CTV's Judy Trin on what more we know about this alleged spy.
A Canadian intern will remain behind bars after being denied bail. The woman is accused of spying at NATO's strategic headquarters in Mons, Belgium, known as SHAPE. The suspect allegedly worked for an unnamed third country and is a member of a criminal organization. NATO interns are usually screened by member countries. In Canada, CSIS and the RCMP would be involved in the vetting.
I don't think it's worrisome.
Dan Stanton, a former CSIS officer, said this could be a counterintelligence operation. And the deliberate disclosure of ethnicity sends a message to the foreign power she's working for.
The way we've uncovered, or we, meaning the government, or various governments, have uncovered perhaps the modus operandi of an intelligence service and has stopped the further development of what could be a mole or a penetration agent on behalf of another country, let's say China.
SHAPE is the command center for NATO, where the alliance plans its military operations and decides where to move troops and weapons. In a statement, Colonel Martin O'Donnell says there's no indication that NATO or SHAPE operational readiness, command and control, or ongoing tasks have been adversely affected. SHAPE, the supreme headquarters of Allied Powers Europe, hires 35 interns a year. Now that the Canadian woman and alleged spy has been denied bail, she'll have the opportunity to appeal. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada has confirmed to CTV News that dozens of people who traveled to Canada for the World Cup have claimed asylum here. A total of 175 people who flagged World Cup 26 on their temporary residence application before coming to Canada from a dozen different countries later submitted asylum claims. More than 26,000 people listed the tournament as their reason for visiting. And a new easier passport renewal program is now up and running. Online passport renewals are open to all eligible Canadian adults. Among other criteria, applicants must have an address in Canada, be older than 16 years old when they got their last passport, and must have received their most recent passport within the last 15 years. A passport can only be renewed online if it will expire in the next 6 months or is already expired. Applicants will still need a passport photo taken by a commercial photographer before being submitted online. In Toronto, the TSX gained 182 points. In New York, the Dow added 537, the Nasdaq fell 55. The Canadian dollar is up a modest 0.06 of a cent. Gold lost $38 an ounce and oil dropped $3.35 a barrel. Canada's emergency rooms are losing doctors, and those still working say the system is at a breaking point. The crisis coming up.
Thank you to Kelly Parent for sending in our photograph of the day. Clear skies as we head into your Wednesday, and we'll put the sunny days back to back as we move through the rest of the week.
From moment to moment, things change. CTV News Windsor.ca is Windsor's #1 source for online news. Watch every story from wherever you are the moment it happens. CTV News Windsor.ca.
Cloudy but comfortable out there. Julie joins me again for an extended look at the forecast. Julie.
Thanks so much, Stefanie. We'll start to see that cloud cover break up later tonight, and through the overnight, just a few clouds, and that will set the stage for a beautiful Wednesday. We hit a high of 26 degrees this afternoon. Our low temperature last night at 20 degrees. Right now across Essex County, temperatures are still holding in the mid-20s, but a bit cooler towards Sarnia with that cool north wind. Downwind of the lake. Now we've had this front come through, and we're going to talk about its impact, but conditions across our area, we're still talking about a bit of a humidex, 28 to 32, so that's what it feels like. But anytime in summer, we always have a bit of a humidex unless that wind or unless that air mass is extremely dry. So we've had this front come through. The winds out of the north, and they are a bit gusty, 30 to 40 kilometers per hour. The winds will ease off overnight, but once we head back into tomorrow, still expecting the winds out of the north to pick up. But that'll keep us on the comfort level on the good good side. So there's a low pressure system at the surface in an upper trough that's bringing some heavy rainfall in eastern Ontario and parts of southern Quebec. That continues and it's stalled out, which is quite problematic for those areas because it's brought some heavy rainfall. Now we're on the dry side of all of this with high pressure and control. That high will be slowly drifting eastward as we head into tomorrow, and that will keep us in the clear and the probability of showers about nil. So not expecting anything to be moving in, but we don't have to go too far to the east to see where that rain continues, and some heavy thunderstorms now moving up the eastern seaboard. So clear conditions across our area tonight. Now there's lots of active weather west and heat warnings in effect, widespread thunderstorms and tornado warnings in effect, or watches as well in through parts of Alberta. And then as we stretch across the southern prairies, some heat continues. Thunder Bay at 27 with widespread heat warnings in place. Things are quiet for us. Heading to the Maritimes, temperatures on the warmer side, especially towards Halifax. Overnight, we'll dip down between 16 and 17 degrees and northerly winds continue. And that'll be our weather story into tomorrow. Not a whole lot to show you tonight on the forecast model, just clear conditions. Sunshine will hold Thursday as well into Friday. Next opportunity for rain won't roll in until Saturday evening, but there's some model discrepancy for the weekend. So at this point, it looks like showers late Saturday with the cold front coming through, and we could see some rain overnight. But one model early this afternoon had the rain coming in a bit earlier, so definitely be able to pinpoint that better for you as we edge closer. Your forecast high tomorrow, 26 degrees with lots of sunshine to a mix of sun and cloud. Our Enercare forecast Thursday and Friday, we're back up to 28 and 29 on Friday, feeling like the low to mid 30s. Again, humidity levels not too high. We have some cool nights though coming our way with overnight lows dipping down between 11 and 12 degrees. That's the kind of night where you can open up the windows and let that fresh air in. Saturday, we're back into mainly cloudy conditions with the showers moving in Saturday night, mainly cloudy on Sunday, and a mix of sun and cloud for holiday Monday with daytime highs into the upper 20s. Stefanie, back to you.
We have more today on a crisis in Canada's already strained healthcare system that we told you about on Monday. Doctor burnout, particularly in the ER. 1 in 4 physicians have told the Canadian Medical Association Journal they're leaving or want to leave, and that emergency rooms are bearing the brunt of hospitals under strain. CTV's Adrian Gobriel on why it's happening and possible solutions.
In emergency departments across Canada, overworked and understaffed doctors are burning out and leaving.
The crisis is worsening year by year.
This new study published by the Canadian Medical Association Journal has uncovered that 1 in 10 emergency department physicians are walking off the job due to burnout. Dr. Kirsten DeWitt is the lead author of the national study that has spanned the last 6 years.
Emergency physicians are feeling like they're carrying the burden of healthcare.
Hundreds of doctors surveyed across Canada shared that they're burnt out, in part due to being forced to deliver hallway medicine to too many patients, while highlighting a lack of staffing support on the ground.
Patients are dying in our emergency departments, and we know that this is going to continue to happen.
Among the doctors who've remained working in the ER, 48% have reduced clinical hours and 20% have taken time off.
Some of the metrics that we're asked to pay attention to are how many patients you see, not how well you see them.
In May of 2020, emergency department Dr. James Masotti was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. After successfully battling the disease, he returned to work with a renewed focus on his colleagues' well-being and their ability to deliver quality care.
The point of medicine is to show up for the human being in front of you. It's not to kind of like check these boxes and push people through.
Now the wellness director for the University of Toronto's Emergency Medicine Division, Dr. Masotti believes that fundamental change is necessary to improve doctor retention and patient care.
Whatever allows us to spend more time with patients.
A comprehensive framework for redesigning Canada's emergency care system has been released by the Association of Emergency Physicians.
We have a huge shortage of nurses and physicians in the emergency department. We're all working overtime all the time.
A statement from the Office of Ontario's Minister of Health says in part that we need the federal government to step up as a full funding partner by renewing expiring health funding agreements to provide stable, predictable, and flexible long-term funding. Though doctors surveyed say their years-long plea for support have continuously been ignored by all levels of government.
If meaningful steps aren't taken to address the issues raised, ER physicians we spoke with fear that much of the work being done to bolster the number of doctors across Canada could be squandered. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Starting this Friday, Alberta will allow patients to self-refer and pay for some diagnostic imaging without having to be referred by a doctor or nurse practitioner.
Albertans will have the option to access diagnostic screening tests, including ultrasounds and X-rays, MRIs, and CT scans.
Premier Daniel Smith says the new initiative will give Albertans another way to investigate potential health concerns and detect serious illnesses earlier. Patients will have to pay for the tests, and if the scan reveals a new or previously unknown cancer diagnosis, the province may reimburse the cost at the publicly funded rate. Legal experts say the changes could put Alberta at odds with the principles of the Canadian Health Act. A rock legend is stepping back from headlining this Saturday's Hogs for Hospice. The City of Toronto wants its land near the Island Airport back from the province of Ontario now that the federal government has rejected an expansion plan.
We want the provincial government to return the city's land. That includes the Toronto Island and the Bathurst Quay, including Little Norway Park.
The Ontario government passed a bill to take over that land as part of its plan to expand Billy Bishop Airport. Last Friday, Ottawa put a stop to the expansion, citing overwhelming public opposition. Toronto Mayor Olivia Chow filed a motion to City Council calling on the province to repeal the legislation. The province shows no signs it will let the land go and is still hoping to move forward with the expansion. New data shows that when it comes to buying school supplies, parents overwhelmingly prefer to go in person to a store instead of online shopping. CTV's Camille Wilson has more on why the personal experience still passes the test for families.
Thank you.
Catherine Morin and her granddaughter, soon-to-be fifth grader Amelia, are getting a head start on back-to-school shopping. They have a list.
Probably like some pens, markers, and some pencils and erasers and stuff. Maybe a pencil case.
And a budget.
How about $40? Because it's our first day shopping. And she's got a dad and an aunt and, and my mom. Family's big.
New data from the Retail Council of Canada shows when it comes to school supplies, parents prefer in-store shopping, 99% of them.
We know that, according to the survey, parents do research digitally and compare online, but physical stores do remain central because families want to see the products. They need to confirm availability.
I like it in store myself so you can see what's out there.
Yeah.
More variety.
For this kind of shopping, nothing beats being able to touch the product.
Definitely in store. We like to test out our product. In store, you get to try it out, see how it feels, backpacks especially, check out the markers. We like to make sure we're getting the good products.
Back to school shopping is a giant business in Canada worth about $4.5 billion. Parents can pay between $600 and $750 a year, including electronics like a computer. The data shows people using digital flyers and online to check reviews and compare prices.
I'll go online and get the inspiration, but then I'll probably go in person as well.
Shoppers choosing to wait for promotions, comparing costs and finding deals.
Some things might not be in the budget.
Parents are expecting to pay more this year than last year.
I would like to watch prices. They do not care about prices.
There's school shopping, and either the tools for the classroom or clothes and stuff like that too.
So how did Catherine and Amelia do with their $40 budget? Closer to $80.
No.
The cost is twice as much as we're aiming for.
Still, they found what they needed. Camille Wilson, CTV News.
Bret Michaels was scheduled to headline this weekend's Hogs for Hospice event in Leamington, but due to an unforeseen medical emergency, Michaels is no longer able to perform. He will be taking a 3 to 4 week break. Hogs for Hospice says it will honor any funding requests through the Eventbrite page, but a new headliner is expected to be announced soon. And the Big Apple is making a major effort to attract more Canadian tourists before the end of the summer. New York City Tourism has come out with what's being called a Northern Neighbor deal, which includes 30% off at more than 85 hotels, Broadway shows, attractions, restaurants, and museums. The deal runs from August 18th through September 7th. They say the discount will help offset the current exchange rate. Meanwhile, Porter Airlines is also offering 20% off some flights to New York City. Canada is New York's second largest international market, with 820,000 visitors expected this year. Kate joining us now. And Kate, obviously the exchange rate is so high right now. Happening Now is coming up next. So what are you working for us for tonight?
Yes, the Detroit Tigers actually had an unexpected guest at last night's game, and it stole the show. More on that coming up.
This is your CTV Windsor Our Community Calendar. Enjoy a day off touring and tasting at local wineries, followed by dinner at the Chichero Club and dancing under the stars, all in support of the Hospice of Windsor, Essex. See you next time on Our Community.
Kate, you have some interesting information about what CBSA can do at the Gordie Howe Bridge that they actually can't do at the Ambassador Bridge.
Yeah, Stefanie, the new bridge has extra capabilities that the old bridge doesn't. Unlike the Ambassador Bridge, hazardous goods can cross the Gordie Howe Bridge. We learned on our media tour the CBSA has a special area to deal with those transports as well.
We also have a hazardous goods canopy. Because this bridge is rated to allow hazardous goods to cross it, we'll be able to effectively examine vehicles over there. If there's any spills or anything like that, there's a containment system that doesn't make sure that nothing damages the environment or health and safety of workers or travelers.
Don't forget our website, ctvnewswindsor.ca, has a special section at the top of our page dedicated to all of our Gordie Howe opening stories.
Okay, and you also have an online story about a proposed commercial development, this in the town of Tecumseh.
Yes, residents had the chance to weigh in at a public meeting today. It was to discuss revised plans for the Manning Road and County Road 42 site. Charges include a shorter 4-story hotel, fewer drive-throughs, and a redesigned layout aimed at addressing concerns about noise, traffic, privacy, and neighborhood impacts. Council will make a final decision on August 11th. And in our social spotlight, last night's Tigers game was interrupted by a speedy and elusive squirrel.
The chase for the squirrel is on, and the squirrel is in the corner, and the squirrel is still eluding an entire horde of grounds crew members. And the squirrel's free once again. Hemmed in? No, I won't be hemmed in.
Some major chaos, as we can see, as the adventurous little guy took the field during the 7th inning. He dodged players and at least 15 of the Detroit grounds crew, all trying to corral him. It was eventually captured using a towel and escorted off the field. But I mean, can you blame him? I bet he's just a super big Tigers fan. And he was just looking for a thrill and to get in on the action.
Yeah, he was just trying to like capture a moment, get a photo with a few of the players, right? There's just something about having all of those grown adults running after a squirrel that just makes this hilarious.
Honestly, I mean, that's the highlight of the career right there, I think.
Yes. Okay, if any of our viewers have a video they want to submit to us, how can they do it?
Yes, you can send us an email at newsnow@bellmedia.ca or text it to 10400.
And that's what's happening now. Thank you, Kate. 1 month, 750 kilometers, and now a Windsor man is almost home when we return. Why his walk for peace is about more than just the miles. Julie joins us one final time for a look at the forecast.
Thanks so much, Stephanie. It doesn't get much better than this. The next few days are going to be beautiful sunshine to a mix of sun and cloud. Tomorrow afternoon we'll hit 26, 28 on Thursday, 29 on Friday. We have the chance of some rain coming in Saturday evening into Saturday night. Timing on this one will be what I'll be watching. In terms of those forecast models, a little bit of disagreement for the weekend. Mainly cloudy for your Sunday. Temperature dips a bit. And holiday Monday, a mix of sun and cloud and 27 degrees. Some cooler nights ahead, comfortable conditions and lots of sunshine as we edge toward Friday. Stephanie, back to you.
A Windsor man's 750-kilometer walk from Ottawa to Windsor is nearing completion. He passed through London yesterday and is expected to reach Windsor on Saturday. With more on the message he wants to share with current and future generations, here's Jerry Dewan.
It's a one-month, 750-kilometer trek from Ottawa to Windsor.
We started a 750-kilometer walk on July 1st, Canada Day, that will conclude on August 1st, Emancipation Day. The walk is a tribute to my freedom-seeking ancestors that came into Canada via the Underground Railroad.
The Slavery Abolition Act came into law August 1st, 1834, freeing 800,000 enslaved people throughout the British colonies. Travis says his 750 for Peace walk isn't only about the past, it's about building a better future for young people.
To help raise awareness and help youth outreach initiatives do some fundraising. So we're supporting back home the Windsor Youth Center and the Sandwich Teen Action Group.
He says he's been encouraged by the number of people who celebrate his mission to honor the significance of the Abolition Act and who want to support him, like Jeff in Zora Township, who biked alongside for over an hour just to keep him company.
Sometimes we find ourselves in these silos where we're really beginning to think or believe that, you know, our back's against the wall, people are divided, you know, we're eating like this diet of division and division and division. But small towns, bigger towns, there are wonderful, kind, supportive people out there.
Travis is being supported throughout his journey by his wife, Nina Soto.
Get these down so you don't burn your ears.
Travis says his goal is to do a walk like this one every year for 10 years.
On every province, and we're going to service different youth organizations every year.
Travis has been averaging about 25 kilometers a day and says for the most part he's feeling good, but admits his back has been tightening up. He looks forward to returning home on Saturday. Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
Inspiring, and we hope to catch up with him on Saturday. On behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching. For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca. Julia and I will be back with your only late local newscast tonight at 11.